So then,
Right.
I'm Germany. Hi.
I'm Brittany.
She said y'all acting shy. Y'all usually a little more turned up?
We came all the way from LA and we heard that y'all have pride. So if you have pride, make some noise. Okay.
Okay. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, because y'all being funny. We just got out of homecoming. So what did we do during homecoming? We did HOMECOMING. It's homecoming, y'all. Say what? It's homecoming, y'all. Period. That's what we want to hear. Okay. Like a warm
Yes. Okay, so let's get into it.
Yeah, we're really excited to be here. As the hard mission with Nike Yardrunners and Pod Digital Media, and of course we wanted to sit down with your very own, Miss Senior Summer. So we know that you're involved in a lot here at Winston, but for those of who might not be familiar with what it is that you do in your journey, would you mind sharing just about your leadership roles here on campus?
Of course. Well, for those of you who don't know, I am Summer Brown. I'm a senior English major, concentration in global literary studies. I currently serve as Miss Senior. I'm Residence Hall Association president. So I advocate for on-campus students within my organization. What don't I do? I work in the Writing Center. I'm a Writing Center tutor, help people out every day. And just a little bit more about me. I'm from New York. I'm here, single parent household, shout out my mom. It was hard to get here, and I was very adamant about embracing my journey and embracing my opportunity, the experience that I have here in Winston, because I know that a lot of people didn't get this opportunity, but I do also know that I got this opportunity for a reason. So I became very heavily immersed in student leadership just so that I could get the most out of my college experience.
I love that. I really admire that you engulf yourself in student leadership, because when I was in college, I was just focused on getting in and getting out. Go to school, go to work, go home. So what inspires you to become so involved in student leadership here at Winston?
So leadership was never anything that I was new to. I've been doing student leadership since I was in high school. I've always showed leadership qualities all throughout school. But I knew that once I got to college, it was going to be a little different. I knew it was going to look different. I knew there were going to be different things that I would be able to do. Now, I graduated high school in 2020. So I was right in the heart of COVID. I was right there. So my freshman year, I was in the dorm. I was in Covington Hall, just sitting in my room, chilling, and I said, you know what? I said, next year, if they open up campus, I'm gonna do everything that I can. That's exactly what I said. I called my mom, I said, Mommy, I wanna do everything. I wanna do every single thing that they have on this campus that I'm able to do. And that's what I did. So my sophomore year, I came in, I said, listen, what can I do? What org can I join? What can I run for? Where can I get involved? So I just came on campus, got involved, I met people, I spoke to people, I met my friends, I met my supervisors. I started in housing residence life, shout out to y'all. Started housing residence life, I was a DA, so I'm able to, a desk attendant, so I'm able to talk to residents all the time, and after that it just went up from there.
And she's really shared how proud she is to be here and how you guys feel like a family to her. So I love that you're sharing that. But as a change maker, what challenges are you most passionate about? Issues?
There are a lot, definitely a lot. I would say my first one is advocating for Black women all the time, every time. That's always the first thing on my list, and that's advocating for Black women in any area and any avenue that I can. I'm currently a RA in a freshman dorm. Shout out Covington, shout out my girls in C1. And I tell my girls all the time that I want them to take my place. Every single time. I tell them I do the things that I do not only for myself, but for those who come after me. Because I know I'm not going to be the last Miss Senior. I'm not going to be the last RHA president. I'm not going to be the last RA. I'm not going to be the last anything. And I want to make sure that I'm setting the example for those to come after me so that they can follow my footsteps and honestly do more than what I'm doing. And the only way that I can do that is by being the example that I'm trying to set for them. So advocating for them, letting them know that I'm here for them we are very close, and Steven knows that I'm there for them, and I'm gonna hold it down every single time. But definitely just putting our needs and just putting Black women at the forefront, because it constantly isn't done.
Yeah, a lot of times we are overlooked or missed, so it's nice when you can find a space where you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel understood. It's a lot of resonance there, so.
And I would definitely say, like, here on campus, there are so many, like, we are a very female-dominated campus. We have way more women than we do. Okay? We have way more women than we do men. But even in that, just because there are many female-based organizations doesn't mean that everybody feels like they have a place. Yeah. So I definitely try to do my part to make sure that everybody feels like they have a place. And that's in making connections and making sure everybody feels heard.
Shout out to you for looking out for people other than yourself. That is so needed in community building spaces. And I'm hoping, like, so I have a little sister and she wants to go to an HBCU so bad. She's like, I need to go to an HBCU. I want to be surrounded by my people. I want to be around people who care about things that I care about, who care about decisions that affect my overall well-being. So I would ask you, how has being a student at an HBCU affected your perspective when it comes to societal change and community impact?
Well, for one, an HBCU experience is so unique, and it is one that you cannot get anywhere else. Like, no matter where you go, no matter how many people that are there that look like you, there's nothing like going to a HBCU. There's nothing like going to a Winston-Salem State, nothing like going to a North Carolina Central. You know, it's nothing like that. Now, I'm a product of a HBCU. My mom went to A&T. We don't all make good decisions, but, you know, everybody has their own path. But so HBCU, that was in my blood. I was born and raised around it. A lot of my cousins also went to A&T, still not making good decisions, but that's okay. So I just like your little sister, I was very adamant about going to HBCU, and it's one of the best decisions I ever made. And it's an experience that I want for other people, that I want other people to have. And just while I've been here, like, my leadership skills have been so poured into. And the woman that I am now, I give so much credit to my family. They did their job. They did their part. But there were so many things that I learned here at this university that I would not have learned anywhere else. There are so many different things that if I would not have came to college, maybe these are things that I would have learned, but I wouldn't have learned it in the way that I did. And I feel like coming here really gave me the outlook to say, like, wow, like, this is really what it's like.
Yeah.
This is who I am as a Black woman. This is what it looks like to be around like-minded people. This is what it looks like to make friends with people who have big dreams. Like, my friends' dream so big, and I love them for that, because they dream big, I dream big. Because I know they're not gonna be friends with somebody who ain't got no big dreams. They're not gonna be friends with somebody who's not trying to get on the same stuff that they are. So since they're doing their thing, I'm like, yeah, I gotta make sure I'm doing mine. So the HBCU experience is so special. Yeah. It's so special.
We didn't get a chance to go to an HBCU. We didn't go to college, but I yearned to go to an HBCU as well. And I'm just so grateful that your family, like, you have so many alumni that went to HBCU to, like, usher you into that space. Because I feel like, personally, if you don't have somebody who's like, oh, this is an HBCU, you'll end up at a state college, like your state, whatever that is. So I love that for you, and I'm glad that you spoke to that. How do you feel like this experience here at an HBCU has prepared you to continue being a change maker post-grad?
Well, I love that question, because I can talk a little bit more. When I came to college, I was a nursing major. That's what. Came to college as a nursing major. I said, I don't want to do nursing no more. I want to be a business major. And I said, no, I don't want to sit at anybody's desk. I want to be a teacher. My mom's a teacher. So I said, Mommy, I'm going to do just what you do. She was like, girl, you don't want to be a teacher. I said, yes, I do. How are you going to tell me what I want to do? And then I had to really sit and evaluate. I said, now, do I want to be a teacher, or do I want to help people? Now, if I want to help people, I can do that in a very different way. Because now that I've immersed myself so heavily into student leadership, I got bit by the bug. Now, me and the director, we have our little thing where we say we got bit by the bug. Because he also went to school. He didn't go to school to do the stuff that he does now. But I got bit by the student leadership bug. And that's because of my advisors. That's because of my supervisors. That's because of my peers. I now want to go into higher education. And I want to give to an HBCU the same thing that my HBCU gave to me. I want to be that advisor. I want to be that director. I want to be that supervisor. and I realized I wanted to help people. And I wanted to make change in a way that would have a lasting impact on others, rather than kind of just like being in a classroom like I constantly different people all the time. Just to have a class one year, but I'm not gonna have that same class, next year. Now I know that if I work in student affairs, I'll be able to have a little bit more personable connection with the students that I come across, and it's just so much, because the journey to get here and the things that you go through and the way that when you know that you have a passion and when you know that there's something that you want to do for others, and you know that you just have something that you need to share with other people, you just really need people around you to foster that and to help grow that. And I'm thankful that I have that.
It's always like influential people in your life that kind of help you move into the place that you're supposed to be.
Right.
And a lot of times it comes to advisors and family members. So I can totally see you being that for somebody. You're so passionate about this work that you're doing now, and I just see it going so much further.
I can too. I'm thinking like, who can I send this summer?
Right.
So, Summer, you have shared with us how passionate you are and how involved you are with leadership and showing up, community service, the Covington girls. How do you balance and manage your stress in your student life? Because I can imagine that it can get stressful, you have a lot on your plate at times, and mental health is very important. So how do you balance the two?
Well, truthfully, self-care and like just making time for myself was not a thing until last year. I had a very, very, very hard year last year, like extremely hard. I was just going through a lot. There was so much that was going on just in my personal life as well as just in my academic life, and then into my social life, where I was just like, this is too much. I felt like I was worn so thin, and I've always, like, since I've been here, I've been so heavily involved. Like, I've been everywhere. Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm in this organization, I'm in that organization. And I was like, you know what? The way that I am, I can't just drop it. I can't, because I committed to it. And this is something that I said that I wanted to do, so I felt the need to follow through, which was fine, but I found myself being worn so thin. So I would say the first thing that I did, the first big change I did was that I said no. I said, I'm not gonna do all of this year, especially because it's my senior year. It's my last go around, and I said I wanted time for myself. I wanted time to enjoy my year. I wanted time to enjoy my friends, my family, my experience. And I knew I wouldn't be able to do that if I was pulled all different types of which ways. And now that I'm here this year, and I do have a little bit more time on my plate, and I have a little bit more that I can offer, I like to hang out with my friends all the time. I call them for everything. I'm like, hey, what y'all doing? What y'all want to do today? Y'all want to go out? Let's go out to eat. They be like, no, we don't want to go out to eat. I'm like, okay, well, what else we gonna do? Let's do something else. And I just find so much comfort in them. They definitely get me through so much. And I would say maybe more personal, I lay down. I lay down. Because rest was something that was so scarce for me last year. I said I will not take advantage of being able to lay down and take a nap. I will not take advantage of that. And simply just have time to myself, even if I'm not sleeping, just being in my room. I tell my residents all the time, don't knock on my door unless you're dying, like for real. And I told them first day, I said, I am pulled 100 different ways. I will always be here for you all. Just text me first. Don't knock on my door. Because when I'm in my room, I like to be alone. This is the time that I have to myself. And I had to make sure that I made it a priority to prioritize myself.
Yeah, it sounds like you implemented some boundaries
I did.
for yourself and the
I
people around you. It's so easy to feel like because you have this abundance of what you want to give, that you want to pour it out. But if you don't fill your own cup first, and you're left defeated and empty, and it's like you don't have anything else.
And that's exactly where I was. I was like, I want to give so much to everybody else, and I know that I have so much to give. But how can I give to other people if I'm not giving to myself? I can't give you all 100, and I'm at 0. Or I'm at it, or even I'm at 50. That's not enough if I'm trying to give you 100.
Yeah.
So how do you plan to continue to promote mental health and wellness as you continue the journey as Miss Senior and just as Summer, like outside of this?
Well, community has always been very important to me. And I know that mental health is a problem within our community, especially here on campus. Like, a lot of us are going through a lot of things, and there are a lot of people here right now who are going through a whole lot of stuff, but they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to put it out there. They don't want to make that connection. They don't want to say, hey, I need help. And I would say the first step that I did to advocate for mental health and to make that step towards making it a more candid conversation on campus was first, I did it. I asked for help. I told everybody, I said, listen, y'all. I told my friends, I told my advisors, my supervisor, I can't do it. I need help. Please help me. Help me do this assignment. Give me some time, just like, let's just set some time aside to talk. Let's do something just so that I can make sure that I'm okay. And I would definitely say with my residents, like with our programs, we always start our programs with a check-in. And even if our program is talking about financial literacy or anything else, if you all want to talk for this hour and some change about what's going on in your life, let's talk about it. Because I'd rather us make that space for you all to feel comfortable enough to come to me, to come to your peers, to have that conversation, than for me to catch it on the back end. And it's, oh, I've been going through this, I've been going through that. I tell them all the time, big problems started as little problems.
Yes.
They started small at some point. So when they were small, well, when they are small, I need y'all to come to me. I need y'all to tell me now so that they don't become big problems. Because big problems are way harder to handle than little problems. So definitely just making the spaces for these young ladies here on campus. And I definitely want to expand that. Like, as Ms. Senior, use my platform for good. Like, we're not here to just look good. Like, you know, Real Court always looks good, for sure. We always look good. But it's not about that. It's not just about that. Yes, we're here. Yes, we serve as the face of our class, the face of our university. But what is the impact if we're not doing the work that needs to be done?
And I love your generation for being aware of the need to create the space, because I know when I was in college, not to reveal my age, but it was a little taboo to talk about mental health. It's like, just go to school, graduate, do what you need to do, and then like school was such a small piece of life, like when you look back. But I wish we would have had that space and that opportunity to really cultivate the importance of mental health and have those honest, transparent conversations with each other and let each other know, like, girl, I'm struggling too. Like, you know, I'm going through it too. I have things going on too. So I'm really happy that you're being the force to set that up. You know? Absolutely.
I just don't like, people sometimes feel like that just because like you have a platform or you're within student leadership, and we talk about this all the time, all of us as student leaders, we have the conversation of like, people feel like we're not going through stuff too. And we are, because we're all going through something. Just because I have my title or you have your title doesn't mean that you're exempt from feeling something. It doesn't mean that you're exempt from going through something. We're here at Winston-Salem State University. That does not mean life stopped for me in New York. That doesn't mean that. My mom's still going to work every day. My family is still up there living their life, doing things or whatever. Life is still going on outside of this. And that's something that I feel like we tend to forget, is that just because we're here, we're not just in a bubble. I know it may feel like that.
Yeah.
But once we go home, it gets real. I love going home, but home is different. It's way different than North Carolina. And to be there, it always brings me back to reality to say like, dang, it's a lot going on here. And there are a whole lot of different things that we need to do to make sure that we're still bringing ourselves back down to earth and saying like, listen, it's cool that what we have going on right here is great, but it's still stuff going on. And that's okay.
Yes. If you could give maybe one piece of advice for anybody here and whoever will hear this, a young student who's just beginning college and wants to aspire to be a change maker, what would it be?
One piece of advice that I would give, it's hard to narrow it down to just
Give us however
very
many
hard,
pieces.
very hard, very hard.
Couple pieces.
I would definitely say the first piece is to be yourself. Be yourself, be authentic, be true, be who you are, because I didn't get my position by being somebody else. That didn't happen. I was voted in because I was something to be. Like, that's what it is. Like, people knew me as the leader that I made myself to be. And because of that, that's who I am, and that's who people know me to be. Now, if I were to switch it up, be somebody totally different, start acting funny, they're not gonna like that. So you just gotta be yourself. Like, start off strong, start off as yourself. And especially if you start off on something that you are not, you gotta keep that up.
Right.
You gotta keep that up. If you start off saying like, oh, I do this, or I do that, or I do this, or I do that, it may seem like people aren't checking for it now. Everybody's coming to collect. Everybody's coming to collect. You say, you say, oh yeah, I do this, I do that, I do this in the community, I do that in the community. Okay, so do it.
Period.
That's it, straight like that. And that's a second piece of advice. Stand on business. Stand on business. If you say that you on this and you on that, be on that. Because if you're not on that, somebody is coming to collect.
Yeah.
And that's just all that is. Everybody is always watching. Whether you think that you are somebody or you're not somebody, somebody's always watching. Because wherever you are right now is not where you're gonna be forever. So what you do right now sets the tone for what you do later.
She said what she said.
You your friend right now?
Summer, thank you so much for sharing with us today. I really enjoyed speaking with you. I love what you are doing at Winston, and I'm inspired by the work that you're doing for your community. Please keep it up, and we appreciate you sitting and speaking with us today.
Yes, thank you all so much.